morning, and a very warm welcome to you from Aberdeen Sports Village in the north of Scotland for live and exclusive coverage of the Scottish Gas National Age Group Swimming Championships, brought to you by Scottish Swimming in partnership with Aberdeen City Council, the University of Aberdeen, Scottish Gas, Speedo, Scottish Salmon, Kellogg's, and of course QTV Sports. I'm Jack McGill, and I'll be hosting the first 3 days of coverage from here in Aberdeen, featuring over 840 competitors from 90 teams at home and abroad, with swimmers competing from as far afield as the USA, Singapore and Hong Kong, and we warmly welcome all of them to Aberdeen. Joining me as our analyst, I should say, in the commentary box over these first few days is former Scotland swimmer Kerry Buchan. Good morning to you.
Morning.
So age group swimming is one of the busiest events in the calendar for any swimming association, I suppose. Tell me, what's special about it? What's different about it?
I think with any age group meet, it's always exciting. I remember when I was first going to age groups, it was one of the best meets to go to. I think it's because it's more competitive. Everyone is, it's more of an even playing field across the board, and it's where everything starts. So it's obviously exciting to watch, and it's exciting for the youngsters to come and race against everyone in Scotland and other countries that are coming across.
Well, that's true, because here this week we have everything from 10, 11, 12-year-olds up to Commonwealth competitors like Hannah Miley. So it must be incredibly exciting for the youngsters to be alongside the stars to whom they aspire.
Exactly. I think it's good for them as well to watch the likes of Hannah and all the other Commonwealth swimmers that are here racing, just to pick up on some tips, and even just to get in and race them and to see what they can do against them. So yeah, it's always a positive. Any
particular memories that you have? Any particular age group championships that stand out?
Not that I can really think of right now. It was quite a long time ago now, but no, I always remember racing older ones, and just always my target was to try and beat them, and the closest I could be to them, the better I could be. So I guess that's what all the youngsters here will be aiming for as well.
It certainly is. Well, one of the aims of Scottish swimming, of course, is ensuring every child can swim. And what better inspiration could you have than this championships? But here's a closer look at the work of Scottish swimming in this area.
It's important that we ensure every child learns to swim for safety, health, fitness and fun.
I think it's really good bonding with your baby. I think you get that they completely rely on you in the water and you're supporting them. And it's also knowing that they're going to then have that life skill to take on with them. I think it's really important. So it's quite nice knowing that you're doing that for your child.
We've been coming to swimming lessons for about a year now, and when Sam started swimming he just wasn't confident at all. He was holding on to me, and we went to the baby and parent classes to start with, and then we've progressed to here, and his confidence, what he can do now in the water is amazing.
I think it's really important on the family aspect, being able to swim so that your children can be safe with you, because if you're uneasy in the water, that's then portrayed over into your children as well. They pick up quite easily on that.
As a head teacher, I have to say I'm truly passionate about the children's swimming. In my 20 years here, it's the one sport that children have been involved in that I can truthfully say I have seen them grow and blossom in confidence in front of my eyes.
Going through, they're doing lessons from babies and then onwards, and then they get to that stage where they have all these skills. Then it opens up things like we have water polo groups that children go into, synchronised swimming and diving, because you can't try these things without being able to swim. So it opens up a huge amount of doors.
It's really important for children with disabilities to learn to swim. It can get them out of a wheelchair, it can get them supported in the water, enjoying the freedom of movement. And they're unique, these children, and they're on their own special journey. You know, and it's really important that the swimming teachers take them as far as they can on that journey.
I think it's important that every child learns to swim, one, from a safety aspect. As they get older, it's important that they know how to be safe in water. And two, the health benefits from swimming are incredible. Children's respiratory systems become stronger, their hearts are working, they're getting that exercise that they need, and they're learning all these life skills that encourages them to stay healthy throughout their elder years as well.
To swim age 5 at my local pool, and believe it's important for every child in Scotland to be given the opportunity to learn to swim before they leave primary school.
We need your support at both a local and a national level to ensure every child can swim in Scotland.
I love swimming.
Oh, he loves swimming, Kerry. We love swimming. It's a nice little video that from our friends at makemeafilm.com, and it really highlights the importance of swimming as a life skill. Is that obviously something you'd echo?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. I think from a young age, like everyone should learn to swim. Just simple things like going on holiday with your family and being able to just leave your kids to go and play in the pool is a massive life skill to have. So yeah.
Some of the fantastic work that Scottish Swimming is doing, and obviously an appeal for as much support as possible from all of you out there to support that work. So let's have a look at what's coming up in this first session. Session starts with the boys 800 metres freestyle. Then we have, I think we have 3 heats in that event. Then girls 200 metres butterfly. The 200 metre breaststroke for the boys, then the 100 metre freestyle for the girls, 100 metre backstroke for the boys, then the IM, and then finishing off with the boys 15 to 18-year-old 4x200 metres freestyle. Any particular events in that, Kerry, that you're looking forward to?
I think the 100 freestyle for girls and also the 100 freestyle for 100 backstroke, sorry, for the men. There's a couple of Commonwealth athletes in both of those events, so it'll be interesting to see what they can do this morning. Also, my favourite event is 200 breaststroke, so interested to see that one as well.
So we'll be looking forward to that. And if you have anything that you'd like to contribute towards today's coverage, then we'd love to hear from you. And you can reach us on Twitter using the hashtag Snags14. Snags14 is your hashtag. If you've got anything you'd like to say, either about the racing or the coverage, your own experiences of age groups, or your own experiences of swimming wherever you are watching in the world, I'd be delighted to hear from you, and Kerry will read out the best of your comments throughout the day. So we're only a few minutes away now from the start of the first session. Duncan McKinnell will be your commentator through the race coverage. And it's a chance just to reflect on the venue here in Aberdeen, the Aberdeen Sports Village. Kerry, I mean, have you spent much time here? What's your impressions of this new facility?
Well, I'm actually from Aberdeen, but this is only the second time I've been to the Sports Village, but it's very impressive. Obviously, I was used to swimming in a tiny 25-metre pool, so this is really great for the city of Aberdeen and for Scottish women to be able to use it for a meet like this.
Yes, it certainly is a fantastic addition to the leisure facilities here in Aberdeen, and our thanks go to the staff, particularly Kenny Gunyon and his staff, who have been helping us set up for this championships, and they've done a splendid job in putting together this venue in time for the championships. Just waiting on the timing officials coming out, but it's another good opportunity to show you some of the other work that Scottish Swimming's doing. And this time not ensuring that every child can swim, but offering adults the opportunity to get involved with swimming. And we went to visit one of the Scottish Swimming outdoor masterclasses at the Helix in Falkirk, and here's what we found.
This is a come and try session for open water swimming at the Helix, a brand new man-made lagoon by Falkirk Community Trust. Scottish Swimming is trying to encourage more adults to become physically active through aquatics. This is the start of a much bigger project to try and get more adults involved in swimming.
First time doing open water swimming in a wetsuit in fresh water. You know, I've done a lot of open water swimming in the sea.
I've tried swimming in the sea before, but not in a lake or a lagoon.
I've started doing the elements of triathlon, and this is the last element, the swimming part. That's what held the most fears for me. So having something like this on my doorstep is fantastic.
There's a lot of people are so apprehensive about doing it, and then they come along and they're like, oh, he's that size or she's that size. I could have been here months ago.
The amount of things and tips that I learned, it's actually took my fear away a little bit. I really enjoyed it.
It was good to learn the techniques of keeping up with the person in front of you, techniques for sighting, all about the energy conservation, which I wasn't really aware of before.
We have a number of what are called Masters swimming clubs, and these are clubs for adults to go swimming. It's really about adults getting a little bit of coaching, improving their fitness, and actually just having a really good time.
It's the whole atmosphere. I think everybody's really up for it and everybody's really friendly.
The tuition, the facilities, and just the camaraderie with the people in the water was fantastic.
The beauty of Masters and open water is you don't have to be a really good swimmer, you know. It's all about participation. I know it sounds a bit cliche, but yeah, it's just about getting in there and just having some fun and enjoying it.
This is all about fun, fitness and friendship. The sun is shining, people are smiling, they've all had a great time. The water's even quite warm, and it's just all happening here at the Helix.
Fantastic new facility in Falkirk there, the Helix, and watching their outdoor masterclasses, outdoor open water swimming, something you've tried, Kerry?
Yeah, I did it a bit on a training camp in the sea. Not the biggest fan of it, if I'm honest. I'd rather stick to the pool, but it's good to do something different, and I certainly would try it, I think, if it was in more of something like that in Falkirk than in the open sea.
I noticed in Glasgow last weekend, actually, as I was taking my own son for one of his first swims, he's only one, that at Bellahouston there was a huge triathlon event, and triathlon's one of the ways, I think, in which a lot of people seem to be coming to swimming. You saw a couple of the guys in the video there who use it for that purpose. It's very much on the rise.
It is, yeah. I actually live with a girl that used to do triathlon, and she's now converted to be a cyclist. But yeah, there's a massive amount of people that do all of the cycling, running and swimming, so it's good to combine them, I think.
Yes, but focusing squarely on the swimming here this week, and Sport Scotland have been getting behind Scottish athletes this summer and are encouraging everybody to take inspiration from the games that are coming up and unleash their inner athlete. So welcome back to the Aberdeen Sports Village, and only a couple of minutes away now from the start of session 1. Let's just remind ourselves what's coming up. So we start this morning with the boys 800 metres freestyle, moving on to the 200 metres butterfly for girls, then the 200 breast for boys, 100 free for the girls, 100 back for the boys, the 400 IM, and the boys 15 to 18 4x2 freestyle relay, finishing off the session. Just turning towards that first event, the 800 metre free. There's only 3 heats in this, Kerry, but there's some quite big names going in that final heat.
Yeah, the likes of Angus Barr is only 15 years old, but he's been swimming and racing really well this year so far, so it'll be interesting to see what he can go this morning. Obviously, Ian Porteous and the likes of Felix Gifford have got a little bit more experience, so they'll be close on his tail, I think, as well. So, yeah, good to watch.
Going back to that feeling as a 15-year-old of racing against guys that are 5, 6, 7, 8 years older than you, can you remember an experience when you were that young? Was there somebody that you looked up to that you swam against and you thought, oh, this is the real deal now?
Yeah, Kirsty Balfour, because obviously I did all the events. I did 800 and 400 IM, but Breaststroke was always my favourite event, so yeah, looking up to Kirsty Balfour and trying to race her as much as I could was always a good target.
And, how did you get on, if you don't mind me asking?
When I was younger, I always got beat, but it never stopped me trying, and eventually I did beat her at one of the short course events, but I was a little bit older by then, but it still was a great achievement for me. So
you obviously announced recently that you're retiring from the sport. How's the decision affected you, and how are you feeling about it now, a few months on?
I'm feeling really good about it. It was the right decision for me. I've been swimming for years now, so it's the only thing that I will miss is the actual racing part of it. But getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning or whatever to go and train, I'm enjoying the Lions at the minute. So yeah, it's all good. But it's good to be part of it again this week.
What have you turned your hand to? What's filling your time now that you're not swimming?
Not much right now. Just trying to keep fit. So yeah, I'm just trying to get a job, but that's all work in progress.
Well, we wish you well with that. I believe we're about ready for the entrance of the timing officials. Here they come now, and of course, one of the most important things, Kerry, at this event and every other Scottish swimming event is the role of the volunteers, and we've got to remember that all the timing officials and the race marshals, you know, are here out of the goodness of their heart and supporting Scottish swimming, and these kinds of events wouldn't run without them.
Oh no, it's massive, and the amount of parents that I know. I mean, my dad does it as well. It's a lot of time consumed doing things like this, but like you said, the meets wouldn't run without the officials. So it's great to see so many people volunteering for the likes of this.
I always find it quite entertaining that they get the biggest announcement. It's always the biggest entrance, isn't it?
Yeah.
The swimmers sort of shuffle into position, but the officials come out with a fanfare.
I think that's quite good though, because then that's them getting their part. I know that my dad enjoys that part and usually does a stupid dance. So yeah.
Yes,
it's good to see.
We've had a few over the last few events of people in quiet moments when they weren't suspecting the presence of a camera, letting loose a little bit, which has provided all of us with some entertainment. I have to say, one of the features of the age group championships that I noticed last year was the reaction on social media, and I was looking through the Twitter feed yesterday, and it already exploded just with anticipation and enthusiasm for the event. Is there something that particularly makes this special in that respect? Is it just that it's a younger age group, or is it just the excitement?
I think it is because it is a younger age group and everyone is that little bit more excited. But I think all the clubs as well, they get on so well, but there's also that big rivalry between them. So, you know, each team is willing their team to, I guess, pick up best team and best club. So, yeah, there's a lot of rivalry, but a lot of excitement as well.
Well, we've got some tweets here. Carnegie have already been on Twitter. Okay, boys, we're heading up to Snags 14 in Aberdeen to help out the rest of the black and white army. They've posted some photos from, I believe it might be Happy Feet.
Yep.
With the penguins in black and white. And so obviously they're coming up the road. You know, even the ones that aren't swimming are going to be up here in support. And we've got the Coast Ladies and the Tramp, who I believe must be a mascot for the club, for the Coast team, readying up for Snags. And great to see, you know, so much reaction on social media. Remember, if you want to play your part in the coverage, you can tweet us on, and there's the hashtag on your screen now, hashtag Snags14, and if you add pics to that, PIX, Snags14 pics, you can hashtag that. Sorry about that. It's Marcus's mobile phone going off in the background from Scottish Swimming. Anyway, we're ready for the start of the 800 metres, and your commentator is Duncan McKinnell.
So away we go with the first heat. Daniel Ryan of Dumfries in 4, James Collier of Carnegie in 5, Ellis Lawson of First in lane 6. Entry times 9:03, the fastest James Collier through to 9:09 Daniel Ryan. So it should be fairly close. Just through the first turn. James Collier just under 30 seconds, 29.86, has the edge in lane 5. So a warm welcome to our live streaming listeners who are hearing this commentary as well. And this is the first race of the morning, and leading the way to the 100, James Collier is about 1.5 meters up, goes through 1:03.53. Moving up nicely, Ellis Lawson in lane 6. So he's in second place. And tracking James pretty well here. Daniel Ryan just maybe getting slightly detached in lane 4. And in fact, Ellis Lawson now has just edged into the lead. Although James Collier right beside him now, so coming towards 200 meters, it's pretty close between these two now. Collier maybe just back into the lead. Let's see who gets the touch. Well, no, in fact, it's Lawson by 700s, 2:13.40. So pacing around the 1:10 mark. Daniel Ryan now best part of 5 seconds back. So pacing around the 9:10 mark at the moment. So entry times 9:03. They'll need to pick it up a bit to match that. Ellis Lawson, though, entered 9:08. So he's around about that pace, I would say. And he now has the advantage. About a body length up on James Collier. So James Collier, silver medalist last year. Ellis Lawson was 8th. Both of them 15-year-olds, so in the same age group. And at 300, there is around about a second between them now. And certainly, the race still very much on between these two boys. Good competitive first heat. Slightly under the 110 pace for that third 100, so picking it up slightly. Certainly it's Ellis who is pushing it on. And he's now got about 3-4 meters advantage. So this next term will be the halfway point. And if James is to stay in touch, then you feel he's got to react now. He's about 4 meters back. Coming to the 400s. Ellis Lawson will lead them through it. And he does that in 4:33.32. James Collier 4:36.04. So the gap now about 2.7 seconds. Another round about 110 split. So still on the sort of 9:10 or maybe a little bit more now. Ellis pushing it on, and increasingly now it looks like he's going to have to do this on his own. He has increased his lead up to 5 meters or so at the 450. Collier still well clear of Daniel Ryan, but we'll need to push very hard in this final 350 to close up on Ellis Lawson now. Getting a little bit of encouragement, particularly from the Carnegie crew. They're usually a bit noisier than this. Not trying very hard. It's early in the morning. 5:44.09. Ellis Lawson is a first contingent in the house. We're not hearing much from first. Another 110 and change split for Ellis. And his lead now about 3.8. So it is increasing slowly as the race progresses. .250 to go. The gap there just over the 4 seconds. So another 3/10 or so added to that lead in that length. So it's looking pretty much cut and dried now. This is 600 meters. Ellis going through in 6:54. Lead now of 5 seconds, so building is slightly more rapidly now. 6:54.49 was Ellis's split, so again 110 just over. So I think we are looking maybe something just over 9:10 here for Ellis. So he'll need to have a good last 100 or so if he is to get under his 9:08 entry time. Of course, a lot of these entry times will be short course conversions, and sometimes it's pretty difficult to actually swim to your converted time. So anything close to it in a distance event is probably a pretty good swim. 15 meters for Ellis until he hears the bell. And they get ready, ringing away. 8:04.36 with 100 to go. The lead now 6 seconds. So no doubt that Ellis Lawson will take this. I guess the question really is, what sort of sprint can he put in this last 100? Not really gone into sprint mode just yet. That will probably happen after this turn. Legs just beating away steadily at this stage. Coming up into the turn. Now about 7-8 meters up on James Collier. So Ellis Lawson doesn't need to worry about his position here. We've got 2 more heats to go. There'll be 8 swimmers in the next one, 10 of course in the final heat, so 21 swimmers in all, of course split over 3 age groups. There's 2 boys, all 3 of them in fact in the 15 age group. So it'll be Ellis who gets the first win on the board, and this little spurt into the wall, and he comes in 9:14.06. James Collier completes his race 9:21.07, and Daniel Ryan completes the first heat 9:27.02. So ready to go with heat 2, 8 swimmers. So on to heat 2. We have Jack Sharanek of Carnegie in lane 2, Daniel McGregor of Warrender in 3, Ryan Brown of Best in 4, James Stephen of First in 5, Scott Dean, City of Glasgow in 6, Tom Bealey of Aberdeen in 7, Hamish Milne of Perth City in 8, Patrick Smith of South Ayrshire in 9. And a strong start in lane 2 from Jack Sharanek of Carnegie, 29.39. 5 swimmers going under the 30 seconds for the first 50, led by Jack. And just coming down pretty much in a line here. Lane 5 starting to move up. So again, we've got Carnegie and First involved here. Jack Sharanek for Carnegie, James Stephen for First. And it's James who's got the touch there, 1:01.67. Nearly 2 seconds faster than the first heat at the 100. Alongside him now is Ryan Brown of Best, Kelso-based swimmer in the borders. So a fairly long trip for him up to Aberdeen. And on Ryan's other side, Daniel McGregor of Warrender in the red cap. And over in lane 7, Tom Bealey of Aberdeen in the white cap there, just to the right-hand side of the yellow lanes. It is James Stephen who has the advantage, very close between him and Sharanek. Just 300ths at the last turn, and Ryan Brown in that group as well. So they're the 3 at the moment, led by Stephen in lane 5, 2:07.87. So splits here much faster than the previous heat, 1:06. So we're looking at something in the 8:40s, I think, here, if he can maintain this early pace. Still over in lane 2, Jack Sharanek is right up there, just tucked in behind James Stephen as they go through 2:50. Well, the gap has increased though, it's up to about 1.3 now, just a 10th between Sharanek and Brown. 4th place still Daniel McGregor ahead of Tom Bealey. So First look to have come into this meet with good ambition. We saw in the first heat Ellis Lawson. Now we're seeing James Stephen. 3:15.02. So about 1:07 that time. So just a tad slower than the previous heat. Still in second place, Jack Sharanek, about 1.3 back now, and about a quarter of a second ahead of Ryan Brown. Daniel McGregor remaining in fourth, in between Jack and Ryan. Approaching 3:50. Stephen goes through 3:48, 3:50 for Sharanek. And Ryan Brown, now just 400s between those two. So James Stephen is building up a reasonable lead now. Looks like Ryan Brown has just edged past Jack Sharanek into second place. This is halfway. 4:21.96 for James Stephen. It is Ryan Brown now in second, but only by 600ths. And looked like a pretty nice turn there from Jack Sharanek. These two pulled away a bit from Daniel McGregor, who still holds fourth, just ahead of Scott Deans now, who's moved into fifth place in lane 6. The black cap of City of Glasgow. And you can see Hamish Milne is in that group as well with Tom Bealey. Patrick Smith as well in lane 9. So we've got a mainly 16 to 17-year-olds in this heat, couple of 15-year-olds. Tom Bealey and Patrick Smith. James Stephen, one of the 16, 17-year-olds. That's a double age group. And at 500, he leads them through 5:28. He's just gradually picking up his pace here. He was at 1:07 a couple of hundreds ago. He's pulled that down to about 1:06.2 for that last 100. So if he can continue to gradually build up the pace, then that could end up with a good result. He's certainly at the moment pacing inside his 8:53 entry time. And a lead now of over 4 seconds. Ryan Brown now has a reasonable gap in second place, with Scott Deans now has moved up into third place, just ahead of Jack Sharanek and Patrick Smith. So he's starting to spread out, certainly the leading two anyway. Still a three-way contest for third. Three-quarters distance done, 6:35.23. The advantage now over 4 seconds. So Ryan Brown comfortable in second place, ahead of Scott Deans third. About a second now between Deans and Smith. Third and fourth. And that's really where the main contest is now. Coming to the bell turn. James Stephen. 7:41.96. Just under the 1:07 that time, so 8:45 could be on here maybe. If we can pick up to about 103 for this final 100 from his 106 splits he's been doing. Ryan Brown, entry time 8:54, so he should be inside that as well. Final turn for James, 8:15. So if he can really push it down this final length then. Can he do a 30-second final length? That might be pushing it. Certainly has upped his stroke rate. Coming down the final length. And increased his lead now to best part of 10 metres. Still a reasonably tight race for third here. Scott Deans and Patrick Smith. That one will go the distance as James Stephen comes in 8:47.39. So improvement of 6.5 seconds for him. Ryan Brown 8:53.71. So he just comes inside his entry time. And it was Scott Deans just taking third by a quarter of a second. 8:58.73. With Patrick Smith 8:58.98 just behind him. So on to Heat 3, we have Joe Steele of South Aberdeenshire in 1, Donny Price of South Mainland in 2, Scott McClay of Perth City in 3, Ian Porteous of City of Glasgow in 4, Angus Barr of South Lanarkshire in 5, Chris Lowther of City of Glasgow in 6, Felix Gifford of City of Aberdeen in 7, David McGregor of Dumfries in 8, James Black of Warrender in 9, and Ross Gale of Ren 96 in 10. So we've got a couple of 15-year-olds, 3 15-year-olds in fact, Angus Barr, David McGregor and Scott McClay. A good number of 16, 17s and 3, 4, I think, 4 in the 18 and over age group. Early leader after the 100, Felix Gifford, the local lad from City of Aberdeen, although originally from the Shetlands, 57.34, so that is the fastest split, not surprisingly, of the 3 heats. Felix entry time 8:37. Felix Gifford 7th in the national championships. That's where he did his E37 entry time. South Lanarkshire's Angus Barr could be the one to watch here. Silver medalist at the national championships, set the Scottish junior record there, 8:17.02. And he is just a metre or so now back on Felix at the 200 mark. 2:01.37 for Gifford, 2:01.95 for Barr. Third place Ian Porteous of City of Glasgow, ahead of a gang of 3, Scott McClay, Donny Price and Chris Lowther. So at the front, I think we've got a new leader, Angus Barr, 2:33.10 now, 3/4 of a second up on Gifford. Porteous still third, ahead of Lowther, McClay and Price. So Angus Barr Bided his time in the first 100, but is looking pretty strong now. He's up by a body length plus a bit through the 300, 3:05.16. So splitting under 104s now. I don't think he's at his 8:17 pace. You wouldn't expect that. I think focusing very much on the ASA Championships at the beginning of August, so won't have tapered for this one. But certainly at the moment showing his class as a middle and distance freestyler. Swimmer's really burst onto the scene in the last year or two. Just goes from strength to strength. Angus Barr was the national age group champion last year, as was Chris Lowther in his age group in lane 6, but well, he's gradually coming up into the mix for the minor places. Chris in the 18 and over age group, as is Felix Gifford and Ian Porteous. There could be a good race for the gold medal in that age group, but the youngster, just 15 years old, Angus Barr, looks to have the measure of his older, more experienced competitors here. Ian Porteous fourth in the national championships, ahead of Mark Deans and Felix Gifford, so he'll want to beat them once more here to claim gold. At the moment he's got that position in lane 4. Now ahead of the other two by about a body length as we approach 500 meters. Barr about 5 meters up, goes through in 5:12.93. So his split is around about 103. So he's upping his pace here. He could be knocking on the door of 8:20. Youth squad member Angus Barr. And certainly not letting himself be at all fazed by swimming against these older, more experienced swimmers. Lane 4, Ian Porteous, now about a body length up on Chris Lowther, who's gone past Felix Gifford, the early leader, who looks to be struggling now to stay with the two ahead of him. So the battle for the 18 and over age group title now firmly, I think, between Porteous and Lowther. And the gap between them is about a second and a half. 200 to go, 6:17.15. And once again, Angus Barr is picking up his pace down to a 62 there. So, well, he's getting closer to that 8:17 pace he did at Tollcross. Is an excellently managed swim here. If he can continue to wind it up the way he has done the last 200 or 300 meters, who knows what we might get here. Certainly looking very, very strong. The race for second is tightening here. Ian Porteous still a second or so up on Lowther, but you just get the feeling that Chris Lowther is starting to challenge, two from City of Glasgow, so they'll know each other's approach to distance swimming pretty well. So coming to the 700 turn, and the bell sounds for Angus Barr, 7:21.18. So the race for second, looking now as if it's tipping towards Chris Lowther in lane 6. None of them are going to touch Angus Barr, so let's check his final split. 7:52, so around about 31 pace there. So we're looking at something, I think, just over 8:20 here. So this is being a very respectable swim. Given he won't have tapered for this one. Angus Barr looking very good now for Chris Lowther to take the gold medal in the 18 and over age group. He's got the measure of his teammate Ian Porteous, I think. So the 1, 2, 3 coming in. Angus Barr, what an excellent swim, 8:22.41. Second place, Chris Lowther, 8:26.42, and Ian Porteous third, 8:28.81. Coming in for fourth place, Felix Giffords. He'll be the bronze medalist in the 18 and overs. Joe Steele next home. So Joe Steele in the 18 and overs age group as well, so he'll just miss out on the medals. And it will confirm the full positions just as soon as we can. Our next event is the girls 14 over 200 butterfly.
So Kerry, end of the boys 800 metres, and comfortable victory there for Angus Barr. We talked about him before the event. Really impressive for a 15-year-old. Oh
yeah, definitely. I mean, he took it out from the beginning there and just held his pace. Really impressive for the youngest one in that last race as well. Well, sorry, there's another 15-year-old, but yeah, for 15 and to get in there and win by a comfortable margin was pretty impressive.
A couple of good races as well by the first swimmers, Ellis Lawson and James Stephen.
Yeah, it was good for the again, those first swimmers took it out from the start and just held their pace well. So it was good to see both those first swimmers getting in for the win in the race.
So the girls 14 over 200 metres butterfly, and we hand back to Duncan McKinnell.
Kate Saxon of South Lanarkshire in 1, Alex Gare of Brock in 2, Kira Sims of Warrender in 3, Eddie Grant, Dundee City Aquatics in 4, Rosie Stanger of Stirling in 5, Shannon Crawford of Geary in 6, Megan Smith of South Lanarkshire in 7, Hannah Russell, City of Aberdeen in 8, and Ola Edwards of Afford in 9. So mainly 14-year-olds in this heat. Of course, this is a heats and finals event. The 800, of course, was heat declared winner. We'll be doing the presentations for that after this event is complete. So it's the yellow-capped Rosie Stanger in lane 5 who's got the advantage here. Rosie Stanger, West District Senior Age Group Champion. She turns 1:11.59. Leads by about 1.4. Fairly tight still either side of Rosie. Ellie Grant of Dundee City Aquatics, Shannon Crawford of Geary. Metre or so behind Rosie, and then just behind her, Megan Smith of South Lanarkshire. 3-4 turn at the 150, led by Rosie still 1:53.63, still about a second up. Around about 42-second split. So should be there or thereabouts on a 2:36.10 entry time. Still has a bit of work to do to hold off Shannon Crawford, Megan Smith. Shannon in particular in the light blue cap of Geary is closing up now, and this is going to be fairly close here. coming up to the 5 meters, and I think Shannon Crawford is just going to nick this one. She comes through and does take it 2:36.53 by 3/10 in the end from Megan Smith, taking second, 2:36.82, and our long-time leader, Rosie Stanger, in the end just third, 2:37.14. So moving on to heat 2, couple of empty lanes here. No swimmers in lanes 8 or 9. So we have Megan Laurie of Warrender in 1, Bethany Brodie of South Lanarkshire in 2, Gemma Brown of First in 3, Ashley McAdam of West Lothian in 4, Gillian Clark of East Lothian in 5, Charlotte Anderson of Hong Kong in 6, Hayley Duffy of City of Aberdeen in 7, and Sally Mayer of Brock in 10. So first appearance of our visitors from Hong Kong. Great to see them here. Charlotte Kiki Anderson is the first of their swimmers to show what she can do. So she goes in lane 6 and turned in second place just behind Jill Clark of East Lothian. Jill Clark, senior squad member, Scottish Schools champion, bronze medalist last year. She's got about 1.5 meters over Charlotte. Third place, Hayley Duffy of City of Aberdeen. City of Aberdeen must be enjoying this meet, not having to travel for the first time for a long, long time. The privilege of sleeping in your own bed has to be good. Gillian 1:05.60. So Jill Clark, already a swimmer in this pool at the North District Grand Prix, finalist there, 6th place at the beginning of the month. She still leads them down this final length. Of course, it'll be about qualifying for finals here, but she's going to have to work hard to hold off Charlotte Anderson here, who's putting in a wee bit of an attack down this last length. Still, Gillian Clark has the advantage, about, well, not 1 meter, 0.5 meter maybe. Third place now is West Lothian's Ashley McAdam. It's pretty close at the front. Who gets the touch? Well, Charlotte Anderson just sneaked it there, 2:20.20. Gillian Clark, 2:20.32. And Ashley McAdam taking third, 2:25.12. So Charlotte, 2 seconds inside her entry time. So nice start from the Hong Kong team. So just a wee problem sorting out that last result. We'll be on our way in a moment with heat 3. Just a reminder, we'll be doing presentations for the 800 at the end of this event. We'll confirm the medalists very soon. So away we go with Heat 3. Emily Horn of Perth City in 1, Georgia Callender of Malgai and Bearsden in 2, Hannah Zurich of Warrender in 3, Eve White of Dumfries in 4, Meg Finnan of South Lanarkshire in 5, Kirsty Armstrong of Best in 6, Ali Bazarian of Hong Kong in 7, Sophia Green of Elgin in 8, Claire Maloney of Carnegie in 9, and Shona Lambert of Warrender in 10. And just confirm the medalists in the boys 800 in the 15 age group: Angus Barr, David McGregor and Scott McClay, James Black, James Stephen and Ross Gale in the 16-17s, and Chris Lowther, Ian Porteous and Felix Gifford in the 18 and overs. If they could marshal for presentations right now, please. So leading the way here in lane 4 is the Dumfries swimmer Eve White from Kirsty Armstrong and Meg Finnan. Halfway point, in fact, Eve 106.76. So just comparing that with Jill Clark's split, it's very similar. She was 106.62. Eve White, Youth Development Squad member, finalist in the National Championships and in last year's ASA age groups. Starting to push on is the best swimmer, Kirsty Armstrong, youth squad member, 4th in the National Championships, reigning national age group champion from the Commonwealth Pool last year. But it's still White that leads it by 8/10. Coming back down the final length, Meg Finnan in 3rd place. White, 14-year-olds. Kirsty Armstrong also 14-year-olds. So they'll be, you would think, up against each other in this evening's final once again. It's based on the evidence of this morning. It's going to be a tight affair. The two of them pretty much stroke for stroke now with Finnan behind them. Looks like maybe Eve White will hold on her advantage. She does. 2:21.44, inside her entry time by about 1.7. Kirsty Armstrong pretty much on the nail on her entry time, 2:21.64, and just behind them, Meg Finnan, 2:22.07. So nice swim there from the Dumfries swimmer as we move to our final heat. And 1, 2, 3 in that one. Eve White first, Kirsty Armstrong second, Meg Finnan third. 2:21.44 the winning time. The scrolled result up on the scoreboard for you. Moving on to Heat 4. Katie Stark of Warrender goes in 1. Nikki Miller of South Lanarkshire in 2. Sarah Branch of Northampton in 3. No swimmer in lane 4. Tame Bruce of Carnegie in 5. Rebecca Smith of Warrender in 6. Mari High of Ren 96 in 7. Ailsa Beck of South Aberdeenshire in 8. Jessica Thompson, City of Aberdeen in 9. Katie McKenzie of Highland in 10. So at the turn, it's Katie Stark on the near side of the pool. The swimmer, mainly known as a sprinter, so it'll be interesting to see how she does in the second half of this race. 30.24 at the 50. And the splits at halfway in the previous two heats, both in the 106 area. See how this one works out. Moving up now in lane 5, Tame Bruce. She was in terrific form. Short course set a Scottish junior record last weekend down in East Lothian. And 1:04.89 is faster than the previous 2 heats. So Tame Bruce looking really good here. She was second up here in the North District Grand Prix, second in the National Championships at Tollcross. Went one better than that at Scottish Schools. And she certainly looks to be in strong form here. She has pulled well away from Katie Stark in this third 50. Turns in 1:40.22. So that was, what, about 35 seconds-ish for that. So this is, well, not going to be that far from the Scottish junior record, 2:14.39. It's also the 15-year-old age group record. Tane is a 16-year-old. The 16-year-old record, 2:14.22. So this is good stuff. I think we're not going to see the record go this time, but hold on to things this evening, because that was an excellent swim from Tame Bruce, 2:16.12. Second place, Katie Stark. That's a huge improvement from Katie Stark on her entry time, 13 seconds to come in 2:19.35, with Rebecca Smith, her Warrender teammate, third, 2:23.66.
So the end of the girls 200-metre butterfly. Tane Bruce qualifying with the fastest time of 2:16.12. Quick time, Kerry.
Yeah, very quick time. I mean, Tane's not a big girl, but she seems to get the technique, and that 2:16 is very quick. And the next one behind her was a 2:20. So in that final tonight, she should win that one comfortably.
We also saw the swimmer Charlotte Kiki Anderson from Hong Kong swim below her qualification time as well. It's interesting to see swimmers coming from other parts of the world. I know we have swimmers here from the US and from Singapore, but the Hong Kong team has actually come for this tournament, which is, you know, great for the Scottish Age Group Championships.
Oh yeah, it's brilliant to have foreigners here, and especially coming in and winning some races. It's great.
So we seem to have a little technical problem with the scoreboard before the start of the next event, which is the boys 15 and over 200 metres breast. We await the arrival of the swimmers for that. Any other good swims in there in the 200 metres butterfly, Kerry, that you spotted?
Yeah, there's quite a few on that Eve White in that heat 3 as well. It was a good race. But in all of the heats, I'd say 1, 2, and 3, there was some close races. Apart from the last one, Tane obviously won that by a margin, but the rest were quite close down to the wall. So
is that form you'd expect her to take into the final this evening?
Yeah, I'd say so. I watched her at the Scottish trials earlier on in the year, and I'm pretty sure she did her 2:15 then. So she definitely can swim a good time in the final.
Thanks, Kerry. We're just waiting for the technical problem to be resolved before the introduction of the swimmers for the next event. And before then, we'll go to the presentation for the medalists in the 800-metre freestyle. Just remind us, Kerry, of the results in that race. That was a heat declared final.
Yeah, the Angus Barr obviously won that one by a margin. He's winning the 15 years age group. And then we had James Black, who will win the 16 to 17 years, and then Chris Lother, who will win the the 18 and over age group. All came in the last heat.
So Angus Barr collects his well-earned golden medal.
Still a few red faces on the block there, I see.
I think that's what an 800 metres does.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Swiftly on to the 16-17 age group.
Silver medalist representing first, James Stephen. The gold medalist and Scottish Gas National Age Group champion representing Warrender, James Black. Well done, gentlemen. And ladies and gentlemen, please now welcome the medalists for the boys 18 years and over, 800 meters freestyle. Bronze medalist representing the City of Aberdeen, Felix Giffords. Silver medalist representing City of Glasgow, Ian Porteous. The gold medalist and Scottish Gas National Age Group champion representing the City of Glasgow, Chris Lowther. Congratulations, gentlemen. Many thanks to Neil Valentine for making those presentations.
So there we have it, the medalists for the boys 800 metres earlier, the first event of this session and indeed the first event of this championship. So just time before the next event to read out a couple of tweets. And Kerry got a tweet here from Corey Scott who says potentially, I think she's possibly thinking if she's ever missed one before, the first time I've not raced snags in 10 years. Good luck to University of Edinburgh Swimming and EK Swim team be cheering on from T3. Corey down at the British Championships?
I think she must be down at the British, but then if she said that she's at T3, that means she's in Tenerife
right.
training, so she's probably getting some warm weather training in at the minute.
So time for the next event, which is the 200 metre breaststroke.
So we have 7 swimmers in Heat 1. Carl Pate of 5 Performance in 2. Ross Young of South Lanarkshire in 3. Liam Nelson of Stirling in 4. Gareth Haberfield of First in 5. Luke Stewart of City of Aberdeen in 6. Ross McPherson of South Lanarkshire in 7. And Callum Mitchell of First in lane 8. Entry times here 2:43 up to 2:46. Once again, we've got 4 lengths of the pool here. And turning first, Ross McPherson in lane 7. Ross 4th in West District senior age groups. That's where he did his 2:45 entry time at the Dolan Baths early in the year. Of course, home base for South Lanarkshire, East Kilbride in particular. Also going well, Stirling swimmer Liam Nelson in the yellow cap, winner at the first meet a couple of months ago. And he's about a metre back on Ross at the halfway point, 1:16.72, plays 1:17.34. Ross Young third. Fairly competitive between these two, and then a race for third place. Ross Young in 3, and in 5, Gareth Haberfield. So mainly a West District flavour to this first heat. The ones from the north and the east languishing a bit. So it's McPherson, Nelson and Young, the 1, 2, 3 at the 150, 1:58.39 for Ross McPherson. He's led from the off and doesn't look to be in the mood to give that up down the final length. And Nelson stroking purposefully in lane 4. Looks good for second place. Still very much a tight contest for third. Callum Mitchell coming into the mix there in lane 8. against Haberfield and Young. But it's Ross McPherson. That's a good PB, over 5 seconds for him, 2:39.68. Liam Nelson just nudging under his entry time, 2:44 dead. And Ross Young third, 2:47.55. So this is Heat 2. Guy Haggerty of City of Glasgow in 1. Kieran Pate of 5 Performance in 2. James Lauder of Hearts in 3. Jamie Easton of Stirling in 4. Oscar Heald of Elgin in 5. Samuel Johnson of Dumfries in 6. Fraser Samuel of East Lothian in 7. Alistair Crichton of Warrender in 8. Liam Buchanan of North Lanarkshire in 9. And Marcus Hills of Helensburgh in 10. Liam Buchanan of North Lanarkshire led at the turn. Not sure he's still got the lead though. Lane 6, Samuel Johnson. Lane 10, Marcus Hills up there. So in lane 2 is Kieran Pate. So this is a tight one at the halfway point. Let's see who's got the touch. It's Samuel Johnson now, 1:18.14. Samuel Johnson third in the West District Senior Age Group's long course. It's a little slower than the first heat, about a second and a half back on that, so they'll need to pick it up in the second half here. Samuel Johnson entered 2:41. And he's mainly challenged now by Kieran Pate in lane 2. And it's going to be fairly close coming to the 150 term. It is Johnson who leads to 00:33, so he's about a half a second up on Pate. With 50 to go. Third place, Fraser Samuel now of East Lothian. He is a couple of seconds back, but he's had a good third 50 to move himself into third. He is pushing very hard indeed in lane 7, but still behind Samuel Johnson and Kieran Pate. And it's looking like that'll be the 1-2 as they come down. 10 meters to go. Samuel Johnson, is he going to get inside his 2:41 entry time? Not quite, 2:41.10. Second place, Kieran Pate, 2:43.60. Third place, Fraser Samuel, 2:43.61. Just a hundredth in it there for second and third. So moving on to Heat 3 now. Full 10 lanes in use here. Martin McInnes, City of Glasgow in 1. Neil McRoberts of Warrender in 2. Finlay Douglas of Geary in 3, Cameron Finlayson of Hearts in 4, Joseph Miley of Geary in 5, Ross Burns of South Lanarkshire in 6, Joe Yeoman of City of Aberdeen in 7, Stuart Cosgrove, also of City of Aberdeen, in 8. Ewan Dalgleish of West Lothian in 9. And Samuel Jones, also of West Lothian, in lane 10. Entry times here 2:36 up to 2:40. Samuel Jones going very nicely in lane 10. Good start from him, 34.32. Leads from Finley Douglas by about 8/10. Also up there, Ewan Dalgleish. So West Lothian having a good start to this race, first and third at the 50. Separated by Finley Douglas. Joseph Miley of Geary also in the mix. So it's West Lothian and Geary all in blue caps, making the running here. See if Sam Jones still has the edge at the halfway point. Yes, he does. 1:14.22, up by a quarter of a second on Miley, now in second place. Dalgleish in third. Douglas in fourth. So still a West Lothian Geary contest, although trying to get in the mix is the Hart swimmer Cameron Finlayson. He is moving up nicely. Samuel Jones then will be trying very hard to hold on to this one. A number of these swimmers you don't think of as breaststrokers, particularly, but showing their prowess here. Joseph Miley, Youth Development Squad member, National Age Group finalist, and he's now moved into the lead, 1:54.85. Has opened up a second's advantage over Jones in that third 50. Third place now, Yeoman. So all change in that third 50. And Joseph Miley will be looking to stop the changes here. But Joe Yeoman is looking pretty strong here in this final. Third in this pool at the West Hill meet about 6 weeks ago. And he is going to be tussling with Joseph Miley in the last few meters here. It's going to be close between the two of them. Let's see who gets the touch. Oh, very close indeed. But it's Miley there who just gets it by 800. 2:34.98. Yeoman second, 2:35.06. Cameron Finlayson taking third, 2:37.36. And the early leader, Samuel Jones, fourth place, 2:39.09. So the summary there, Joseph Miley first, Joe Yeoman second, Cameron Finlayson third, 2:34.98, the winning time. So heat 4 coming up. So in heat 4, we have Callum Reid of Warrender in 1, Matthew Anderson of Warrender in 2, Scott MacArthur of Stirling in 3, Craig Barnes of Carnegie in 4, Cameron Muir of South Ayrshire in 5, Chris McComb of East Lothian in 6, Alistair Miley of Geary in 7, Matthew Fennick of South Lanarkshire in 8, Finlay Williamson of East Lothian in 9, and Greg Turner of 5 Performance in 10. So pretty close at the turn. Craig Barnes of Carnegie just getting the touch. 4/10 ahead of Chris McComb. Third place in lane 10, Greg Turner. So Craig Barnes, Youth Development Squad member, silver medalist in Scottish Schools, East District Age Group champion. Going in the familiar black cap of Carnegie. The yellow of East Lothian, worn by Chris McComb, still holding second place. About 8/10 now back on Barnes, 1:10.52 for Craig Barnes. 1:11.34 McComb, 1:11.68 Cameron Muir now in third place. This is a fair bit faster than the previous heats. into the cycle seeded heats, of course, so you'd expect that. And approaching the 150. And, well, all changed there. Cameron Muir has really steamed up and looking very strong now. Cameron, bronze medalist in the West District Championship, Scottish Schools champion, 4th in the ASAs last summer. 2:25.47 his entry time, and well, he's really showed how to swim the second half. Come through from third to a very dominant first. So strong swim right on, in fact inside his entry time, 2:24.79. That's an excellent swim from the young man from South Ayrshire. Second place, Craig Barnes, 2:27.35, pretty much on his entry time. And Scott MacArthur coming through for third with a nice 2-second improvement on his entry time, 2:29.71. So confirmation there. Not yet scrolled scoreboard, but we'll just wait for that. Cameron Muir first there, halfway down the scoreboard, 2:24.79. Craig Barnes second, Scott MacArthur third. I think some nice underwater shots on the live stream, so if you get a chance tonight when you're back, have a look at them. And the scroll board now, confirming the order as we move on to the next heat, Heat 5. So on to Heat 5, we have Cameron Nelson of Carnegie in 1, Callum McBeath of Forres in 2, Callum Deans of Elgin in 3, Jack McComish, City of Glasgow in 4, Daniel Lim of Warrender in 5, Tobermory Mackay Champion of Perth City in 6, Benedict Tortolano of Stirling in 7, Josh Mitchell of South Ayrshire in 8, Rory Shirley of City of Glasgow in 9, and David Muir of Ren 96 in 10. So good start from the Perth City swimmer Tobermory Mackay Champion, 32.61. He leads by a second over Daniel Lim at the 50 mark. Tobermory Midlands Champion in the new Olympia pool early in the year, and he's certainly pushing it on very nicely here. 3 or so meters up on Daniel Lim, who's got quite a bit faster entry time than him. So Daniel maybe just taking it fairly easy. Will be very confident, I think, of a place in the final in that 18 and over age group. But Tobermory in the 16-17, so he will be certainly wanting to make a statement in that age group. He's faster than the previous heat by nearly a second, and showing no sign of giving his lead up here. McComish and Lim up there. Also Tortolano in the yellow cap. That's at the 150. It's Mackay champion. He's 2.8 up now. Chap McComish second. Josh Mitchell now into third. South Ayrshire swimmer, originally from Stranraer. Here's Tobermory, Mackay champion. He's really taken this heat by the scruff of the neck here. Absolutely dominant. McComish still has second place. Daniel Lim starting to look interested in trying to come up alongside him. Josh Mitchell in the yellow cap, also in that mix, but good swim from Tobermory, Mackay champion, 2:26.48. So in the end, a little slower than Cameron Muir's time from the previous heat. That was a 2:24, but a good swim from Tobermory. Expect to see him again tonight. One more heat to go. Still waiting for the scoreboard to scroll into position order, but it should show Tobermory Mackay champion as the confirmed winner of that heat from Daniel Lim and Chap McComish. Just maybe a little query about one swim. But there is the summarized result, and it is as we predicted. 2:26.48 for Tobermory Mackay champion, the winner. Final heat then. Adam Poole of Warrington goes in 1. Kieran Preston of South Aberdeenshire in 2. Donny Price of South Mainland in 3. Edward Gray of City of Glasgow in 4. Chris Kerr of Warrender in 5. Cameron Park of South Lanarkshire in 6. Callum Laurie of First in 7. Craig Watt of West Lothian in 8. Cameron Broadfoot of Warrender in 9. And Matthew Paul of Northampton in 10. So very much the fastest entry time belongs to Chris Kerr, 2:16.80, and he does lead at the 50, 32.52, just a tenth ahead of Kieran Preston in lane 2, with Cameron Park in 3rd place. Chris Kerr, senior silver squad member, national championships and national short course finalist. But in lane 2, Kieran Preston, I think, has got the edge now. The South Aberdeenshire swimmer going very nicely, 4th in North District age groups, and he does lead 1:08.98. I think there is a fair amount of tactics going into some of these heat swims. People have done the maths on the number of swimmers in their age group, and that will determine how fast they think they need to swim this morning to guarantee the lane they're looking for this evening. So they're saving their powder, you would think, some of these top guns. And that's allowed some others to maybe make some morning statements, and Kieran Preston is doing that, 1:46.73. He leads by 2 seconds now on Kerr. Cameron Park still has 3rd, ahead of Edward Gray and Callum Laurie. So coming down the final length, it's still Kieran Preston, although Chris Kerr and also Cameron Park maybe, well, closing a little bit, but I don't think they're going to catch Kieran. He's comfortably in the lead still. And he takes it in 2:25.18. Big improvement on his 2:32 entry time. Has to be happy with that. Cameron Park just nudging past Chris Kerr at the end there. 2:27.81 for him, taking second place, with Chris Kerr finishing third. But you see on the scoreboard there, disqualification, technical infringement, lane 5.
So there we are, the conclusion of the heats for the boys 15 and over 200 metre breaststroke, and we just await the official results. Kieran Preston winning the final heat in a time of 2:25.18. Cameron Park in second and Edward Gray in third. So summarising the qualifiers for this evening's final, Cameron Muir and Kieran Preston topping that list. Kerry, a couple of interesting swims there, and that final heat there coming in lane 2. Kieran Preston 7 seconds better than his qualification time, but then in the previous heat, Daniel Lim swimming a whole 10 seconds outside of his qualification time. How much of a barometer are those qualification times for us? How much should we be reading into them?
I think, well, maybe to be 10 seconds out isn't the best, but then I guess we don't know what position he's in at the minute, if he's injured or if he's just simply not a morning swimmer. But then if that's the case, you need to be closer to your best times in the morning if you want to get a good lane in the final to compete for medals. But one that did it really well was in Heat 4, Cameron Muir, 2:24. It's a second quicker than his entry time, and he goes in fastest tonight to the final, so he's put himself in a great lane position for medals tonight.
Certainly has, thanks Kerry. 100 metres free, moving on to the sprints for the girls 14 and over. Coming up, just lanes 2 to 8 in the first heat, and a withdrawal, I think, in lane 7 by the looks of things. And Duncan McKinnell will be able to explain all of that, taking you through the heats for this event.
So the first of those 7 heats in the water now. We have Laura Harrison of Highland in 2, Caitlin Davis of Peterhead in 3, Caitlin Duffy of South Ayrshire in 4, Phoebe Cartwright of Warrender in 5, Lucia Duncan of Highland in 6, Megan Grant of South Aberdeenshire in 8. So in the near side, Laura Harrison, Caitlin Davis, and lane 8, Megan Grant. They're the 3 leading at the halfway point, 29.72, the leading split. Laura Harrison, that was. The slowest entry time of the field, but you wouldn't know that from her first half. 104.15. Can she hold it together? Some of the 2 outside lanes seem to be making the running here. Megan Grant going well in lane 8. It's between lanes 2 and 8. Let's see who gets the touch. And it is Laura Harrison who takes it, improves her entry time by a second. 103.03, leads Megan Grant in by 300ths. 103.06 for Megan. 10. Third place, 103.97, Caitlin Davis. So confirmation of that result, Laura Harrison by 300ths from Megan Grant, with Caitlin Davis third. On to Heat 2. Full 10 lanes in use for Heat 2. Caroline McIntosh of City of Aberdeen in 1. Natalie Lees of West Lothian in 2. Robin Crawford, City of Glasgow in 3, Kate Story of Helensburgh in 4, Ellie Neal of Warrender in 5, Lizzie Cleland of Best in 6, Erin Rafferty of Carnegie in 7, Brooke Gillies of Carnegie in 8, Eleanor Gracie of Best in 9, and Ailey Grant of Dundee City Aquatics in 10. Kate Story, the Helensburgh swimmer, 4th in the West District Open. Leads through 29.44, so about 3/10 faster than the first heat at the halfway split. Entry time for Kate, 1:02.65. Still leads them, coming down the second length, about a metre up on Ellie Neal of Warrender. They're going to be the 1-2 here. Third place looks like Lizzie Cleland, and is Lizzie Cleland, so 1:01.93 for Kate. 7/10 of an improvement for her. Also an improvement for Ellie Neal, 1:02.37. Lizzie Cleland, 1:02.74. And there is the 1-2-3 sorted for you. Kate Story, Ellie Neal, Lizzie Cleland, 1-2-3. So heat 3, Olivia Burridge, Warrender in 1, Harris Ritchie of South Ayrshire in 2, Ailsa Timoney of Warrender in 3, Jordan Sturt of Warrender in 4, Cara Smith of Stirling in 5, Jenna Lafferty of First in 6, Rebecca Buse, City of Aberdeen in 7, Michelle Hoffin of South Ayrshire in 8, Kirsty Forsyth of West Lothian in 9, Alex Cunningham of East Lothian in 10. So Cara Smith, 29.56 at the term, but I think it's Jenna Lafferty now who's got the advantage in lane 6. From the Warrender swimmer, Jordan Sturt, they're going to be 1-2, I think. And it is Lafferty who takes it, 1:01.20. So on to heat 4. Libby Adams of Warrender in 1, Cara Layton, Kelly College in 2, Emily Hewitson of Dumfries in 3, Emily Horn of Perth City in 4, Kimberly Mackay of Warrender in 5, Lauren Mackenzie of Elgin in 6, Ailsa Beck of South Aberdeenshire in 7, Mari Swanson of Warrender in 8, Katie Smith of East Lothian in 9, Meg Finnan of South Lanarkshire in 10. So this is a pretty tight one here, but it looks like Kimberly Mackay is coming through in lane 5 to take it. Just over the minute, 60.39, proves by 4/10 on her entry time. Laura Mackenzie in second place and Katie Smith taking third. All three of them inside their entry times. And the summary on the scoreboard now: Katie McKenzie, Lauren McKenzie, Katie Smith. So on to heat 5, Chanel Snedden of first in 1, Karen Reid of South Ayrshire in 2, Abby Houston of Dumfries in 3, Kirsty Simpson of Carnegie in 4, Raquel Mattis of East Lothian in 5, Rachel O'Donnell of Carnegie in 5, Raquel Mattis of East Lothian 6, Gillian Clark of East Lothian 7, Emma Crawford of East Lothian in 8, Ivy Lauren Richter of Hong Kong in 9, Lauren Pirouet of first in 10. Raquel Mattis leads at the halfway point. Gold scored member, East District Age Group champion. And she's got about a metre on Rachel O'Donnell. The Rachel is coming right back at her now. This is going to be close. I think Rachel might just sneak this. She does. 58.15 from Raquel, 58.24. And Gillian Clark in third, 58.64. Gillian's second swim of the morning after the 200 butterfly earlier on. So summary for you there on the scoreboard: O'Donnell, Mattis and Clark. On to heat 6, Gemma Layden of Plymouth Leander in 1, Eleanor Spencer of Stirling in 2, Zoe Giddon of Northampton in 3, Katie Stark of Warrender in 4, Lucy Hope of Best in 5, Caitlin Tootle, City of Aberdeen in 6, Jessica Wilkie of Edinburgh University in 7, Gulsum O'Neill of West Lothian in 8, Emily Grant of City of Aberdeen in 9, and Megan Feld of South Aberdeenshire in 10. Lucy Hope leads at the turn, 28.08. So Lucy Hope then up by about a metre from Katie Stark, the 17-year-old. And she comes in 57.69. Katie Stark 58.25. Caitlin Tootle third in 58.75. 1, 2, 3 confirmed on the scoreboard, complete with the full result. One more heat to go, heat 7. Heat 7, Sarah Branch of Northampton in 1, Katie Phillips of St Thomas in 2, Rachel Sharples of East Lothian in 3, Jessica Christie of South Aberdeenshire in 4, Rachel Masson, South Aberdeenshire in 5, Hayley Monteith of Edinburgh University in 6, Samantha Caulfield of Carnegie in 7, Jennifer Henderson of East Lothian in 8, Erin Cummins of Perth City in 9, Fiona Ingalls of Midlothian in 10. Great start from Samantha Caulfield in lane 7, 27.85 is the fastest split. Samantha, Youth Development Squad member, Scottish Schools champion. Being swallowed up a bit in the second half, though, and it's lane 5, Rachel Masson coming through. Silver medalist in the North District Grand Prix, National Championship bronze medalist. And she comes in 57.72. To take that one, Hayley Monteith in second place, 58.30, and Jess Christie third, 58.56.
So fast and furious. We're through the girls' 100 metres freestyle. And some good swims in amongst those from some of our Commonwealth athletes that we're looking forward to seeing later in the year, Kerry.
Yeah, Lucy Hope there, I think, is the fastest one through in the heat 6, 57.6. So she's one of our Commonwealth athletes. And then Rachel Masson as well going in the last heat. But also young 15-year-old Katie Stark went 58 there, keeping up with the girls. So yeah, it's good to see the youngsters still challenging the Commonwealth athletes.
When we thinking ahead to the games, which God, only a month away now.
Yeah.
What part can this event play in the warm up for some of the athletes that will be taking part? Is it a crucial part? Is it just that it falls in the right point in their training schedule? We obviously read from Corrie Scott in her tweet that she was out in T3, which is warm water training in Tenerife. Is it just about how the coaches schedule them? Or?
Yeah, I think what most of the swimmers will still be in hard training or just coming to the end of their hard training at the minute. So to race when you're feeling tired is a good thing because
sorry to interrupt you there. Just wait for the start of the race. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, it's the faster you can race when you're tired. When you're rested, it gives you more confidence to race even faster than that. So the Commonwealth athletes here will probably be in heavy training and just doing some racing as part of their training, and then they'll taper down into the Commonwealth Games.
Great stuff, Kerry. The first heat of the boys 100 metres backstroke is underway, and Duncan McKinnell is describing the race.
So Scott Lyon turns first, 33.73, just 1600 there to Cameron Broadfoot at the turn. Lyon in the silver cap behind the swim team. And he looks to be built his lead over Cameron through the turn and down the second length, with third place East Lothian's Fraser Samuel. So that looks like the 1-2-3. Lyon entered 1:07.50. So he's going to take this one and comes in 1:08.75. Second place, Cameron Broadfoot, 1:10.49, and Fraser Samuel third, 1:11.65.
The boys' 18-year-old and over 200 breaststroke finalists are Daniel Lim, Jack McComish, Edward Gray, Callum Reid, Matthew Anderson, Joe Yeoman, Alistair Miley and Rory Shirley. Any withdrawals, please, to the recorder's desk within 30 minutes of this announcement. Thank you.
So just a little intervention there from the venue announcer to remind us of the finalists in the last of the men's event. But we continue now with Heat 2 of the boys' 100 metre backstroke.
So Heat 2 is away. Charlie Smith of East Lothian in 1, Liam Buchanan of North Lanarkshire in 2, Kyle Pate of Five Performance in 3, Logan Jimison of Lerwick in 4, Conor McNeil of Ren 96 in 5, Adam Airley of North Lanarkshire in 6, Murray Quellant of Aberdeen in 7, Callum Robertson of Elgin in 8, Blair Fotheringham of St Thomas in 9, and Finlay Dewar of Best in 10. So in lane 6, it's Adam Airley, 31.18. He leads at the turn. Airley of North Lanarkshire, winner in the West Lothian meet recently. He's got maybe a body length advantage now on a very tight race for second. All the swimmers on the far side of the pool in that mix, along with Conor McNeil in lane 5. And just Logan Jemison just behind them, but it is Adam Airley who is clear of all of them, and he comes in good style, 105.89 to take it. So the result on the scoreboard there, Adam Airley, Finley Chua, Logan Jemison coming through for third place. On to heat 3. Heat 3, Adam Carnegie of City of Glasgow in 1, Jamie Murray of Stirling in 2, Jack Elby of South Lanarkshire in 3, Aaron Gillan of Carnegie in 4, Jack Watson, City of Aberdeen in 5, Oliver Kincart of Portsmouth North Sea in 6, Mark Elric of First in 7, James Stephen of First in 8, Sam Andrews of West Lothian in 9, Chet Lovey of Brock in 10. Turning first, Oliver Kincart in lane 6, 30.99. Just 200 ahead of Jack Elby at the turn, with Mark Elric third. Certainly Mark Elric in lane 7. I think may just have edged past Kincart now, so the two of them side by side. Elric in 7 in the dark blue cap of First, the light cap of Kincart of Portsmouth. And the two of them stroke for stroke now. Let's see who gets the touch. Oh, it's close, but Kincart just in the end takes it. Both of them inside their entry times, 104.01 for Oliver Kincart, 104.14 for Mark Elric. Third place was Sam Andrews. Nice swim from him from lane 9, 105.48. Jack Watson just behind him by 700ths in fourth place, 105.55. On to heat 4, Fraser Meadows of Warrender goes in 1, Fraser Tattersdale of Woking in 2, Matthew Turner of South Aberdeenshire in 3, Thomas Farrell of Fife Performance in 4, Daniel Tiffin, City of Aberdeen in 5, Finley Douglas of Geary in 6, Callum Archibald of Warrender in 7, Andrew Sawkins of Hearts in 8, and Cameron Arnott of City of Aberdeen in 9. Thomas Farrell turning first, 30.72. 3/10 up on Fraser Tattersdale. Scott from Woking. First time I think we've seen him in a Scottish event, so it's great to have these Anglo-Scots making their way north. But at the moment it's Daniel Tiffin with a strong second half, and he has come through very well in lane 5 and takes it in the end with quite a bit to spare, over a second. Tiffin 103.32, Farrell taking second 104.50, and Tattersdale third 104.68. So Daniel Tiffin very strong there in the second half. Sets out his stall in the 16-17 age group, 103.32. And Scoreboard now scrolling, so we have Thomas Farrell confirmed in second, Fraser Tattersall confirmed in third. On to Heat 5, Jack Sharanek of Carnegie in 1, Alistair Lambert of Warrender in 2, Paul Adamson of Dundee University in 3, Callum Deans of Elgin in 4, Daniel McGregor of Warrender in 5, Kieran Preston of South Aberdeenshire in 6, Matthew Thompson of East Lothian in 7, Scott Mitchell of Dundee University in 8, Tom Bealey of Aberdeen in 9, and James Collier of Carnegie in 10. Kieran Preston, 30.57, leads by 4/10 from Matthew Thompson at the turn. Alistair Lambert up there as well. This is Preston in the dark cap, lane 6. Thompson in the yellow cap. Lane 3, Paul Adamson moving up into 3rd place. The Dundee University swimmer. Kieran Preston should hold this one, and he does. 62.86 is time. Adamson second, just nudging ahead of Matthew Thompson by 500ths in the end there. So the summary, Kieran Preston first, Paul Adamson second, and Matthew Thompson third as we move to Heat 6. Heat 6, Braden Hartles of Birmingham in 1, Graham Brown of South Ayrshire in 2, Danny Kirkham of East Lothian in 3, Greg Watson of Mulgai and Bearsden in 4, Craig Bowman of Carnegie in 5, Ross McCafferty of City of Glasgow in 6, Joe Yeoman, City of Aberdeen in 7, Ross Leslie of South Lanarkshire in 8, Jack Harrison of Warrender in 9, and Angus Barr of South Lanarkshire in 10. Greg Watson leads them through the turn, 28.91. The Mulgai and Bearsden swimmer, 4th in the ASA Youth Championships last summer. Beside him, Craig Bowman and Ross McCafferty. Bowman, the silver medalist last year, 4th in the youth event in the British Championships. But it's McCafferty, I think, may just get the touch. Yes, he does, 58.96. Again, I suspect that they'll go a fair bit faster than that in the final. Watson second, 59.13. Bowman third, 59.40. And the 1, 2, 3. So Ross McCafferty, good win for him. 4th in the North District Grand Prix. So obviously likes this pool. Heat 7 will be next. So just got a little technical delay here. Problem to sort out with one of the lanes. Just relax, swimmers.
So as the venue PA kicks back in, obviously there's a little bit of a technical problem, and the scoreboard's telling us that normal service will resume. There's an enthusiastic fan who's showing some camera skills of a sort with his iPad. I very much hope that we don't see that one up on YouTube, sir. Official coverage, officially sanctioned coverage only. But good to see him enjoying himself, and a good chance to turn our attentions back to Twitter just for a second, and looking at some of your tweets coming through. We get Chesky, I think Chesky possibly, Chesky Chew 96. Kieran was sensational, she says, at South Aberdeen Swim, exciting swimming, and also she's got a shout out there for Rachie Lou 7 and Jess swimming fast. Excited for tonight's final already. It's great to see that anticipation building so early in the morning. Loads of the clubs on Kerry Warren are on very a lot in this opening session, and Carnegie as well. Strong morning heats for Tane Bruce at Tano Bruce, if you want to follow her on Twitter. And you get a real sense from the Twitter feed, Kerry, of the excitement around this event at the moment.
Yeah, it's great to see the excitement coming in already. It's only a few events into the session, and already the Twitter's full of feeds from the competition. So hopefully that will continue.
Are you on Twitter?
I am on Twitter. Yes.
How can people follow you if they're on Twitter? If you want to follow Kerry on Twitter, here's where she is.
Kez_B7, and yeah, you can follow me on Twitter.
There we go, Kez_B7 if you want to follow Kerry on Twitter. If you want to follow me, I'm at QTVJack. I don't imagine you will, but there's the option for you just in case. And if you want to contribute, of course, in your own way to the coverage as a whole, there's the Twitter hashtag there for you on the screen. It's at Snags14, at Snags14. So still waiting for a problem. I don't know if it's a problem with the scoreboard or with the timing. These things happen, Kerry, of course, from time to time in events. And as a competitor, you go through a certain amount of mental preparation and physical preparation, and it's about honing your mind and body to be ready at the right time to deliver. How much can these interruptions affect that preparation? What goes through your head when you're sitting as these guys are at the moment on poolside, just waiting?
I think sitting as these guys are behind the block, I think you just need to try and relax and just keep your mind focused on the task at hand, and try not get overly stressed out about anything. I think it may affect it if you were in the call room and you timed your race perfectly, by maybe taking caffeine or something. It might delay it a little bit, but overall, if you just keep your head focused, it shouldn't really affect much.
It's an interesting transition, I think, particularly for athletes, not just in swimming, but in some of the other sports, as they prepare for the games, Glasgow 2014 games. They've really seen a tremendous difference in the rigour that's applied to their preparation. So perhaps if you were a hockey player, or if you were involved in table tennis, let's say, or badminton or whatever. I mean, the top athletes, are used to the demands of professional sport, but I think for others they might be taken by surprise by the influx of sports scientists and performance analysts and nutrition experts and dietitians who start affecting their daily pattern as they get closer and closer to the games. Is it something you've experienced, and something? What did you find the oddest parts of your preparation in that respect?
I think going from I came from a small club in Aberdeen, South Aberdeen, swam for, and then moved down, and you get more as you get better. You do get it, but you get used to it, definitely. And I think for younger swimmers, seeing it, I guess it's starting a little bit younger meets, so just getting used to that would be good for the bigger meets coming up.
So we're back with the backstroke. It's the boys 100 metres, heat 7, 2 to go, and Duncan McKinnell is back on commentary.
We move on to heat 7. We have Jamie Waller of Hearts in 1, Henry Mackenzie of Warrender in 2, Gavin Haggerwood of Geary in 3, Chris McComb of East Lothian in 4, Mark Sharanek of Carnegie in 5, Ryan Archibald of Warrender in 6, Callum Shaw of Edinburgh University in 7, Kieran Brand of South Ayrshire in 8, Spencer O'Grady of Geary in 9, Cameron Finlayson of Hearts in 10. So turning first, Mark Sharanek, 29-12. ASA Youth Championship bronze medalist, reigning national age group champion. Just behind him, Chris McComb, with Kieran Brand in 3rd. Sharanek looking pretty much in control here. Entry time for him was 56.70. He'll be as fast as that this morning, but we will see what he does tonight, because I'm sure he'll be there with that time, 59.03. McComb second, just over the minute, 1:00:37, ahead of Gavin Haggerwood in 3rd place. Moving on to the final heat, heat 8. Daniel Gibson, City of Aberdeen in 1, Joseph Miley of Geary in 2, Alistair Miley of Geary in 3, Craig McLean of Carnegie in 4, Andrew McGovern, City of Aberdeen in 5, Jack Ness of City of Aberdeen in 6, Fraser Spooner of West Lothian in 7, Alistair Campbell of Dumfries in 8, Scott McClay of Perth City in 9, Alistair Robertson of Aberdeen in 10. So McGovern and Ness, 2 backstroke sprinters, will be appearing in the Commonwealth Games. 2 partners in crime from City of Aberdeen, and it is McGovern who's got the advantage by 100 from Craig McLean, 28.36, McLean 28.37. Well, this is a strong second half from Andrew McGovern, and in the end this is a comfortable win for him, 57.07, very respectable time against his 56.33 entry time. Ness, well, McLean coming in second, 58.52. Just 3/10 away from his 15-year-old national age group record, so watch out this evening for that one. Spooner third. Spooner third, 59.53.
So that concludes the 8 heats for the 100 metres back. Andrew McGovern, Craig McLean, Ross McCafferty, Mark Sharanek qualifying. The board goes too quickly for us to see who's made tonight's final. You see some great shots there from the underwater camera as the guys exit the pool. Really comfortable for McGovern there, and obviously he'll be using this as a training for the games later in the summer.
Yeah, McGovern and Jack Ness are both 50 backstrokers, but McGovern looks really comfortable there on the 100. He's obviously been working on his endurance a little bit to come back a bit faster.
We'll get confirmation of the finalists a little later on, and we'll bring you that. But in the meantime, we're on to the next event, which is the girls' 400-metre individual medley. First heat has no swimmers in lanes 1 and 0, and Duncan McKinnell is once again your commentator.
So 8 lengths of the pool here for the 400 IM. The first of the 5 heats, we have Heather Mulvaney of City of Aberdeen in 2, Claire Lee of Carnegie in 3, Megan Smith of South Lanarkshire in 4, Amy McCrosty of Dundee City Aquatics in 5, Anya Reid of First in 6, Heather Lees of first in 7, Laura Harrison of Highland in 8, Hayley Grant of Dundee City Aquatics in 9. Entry times 5:26 up to 5:32. Laura Harrison has the early advantage in lane 8. Ireland swim team member, I think comes from Nairn. And she's got maybe I was going to say a meter's advantage. I'm not sure it's as much as that now. Hayley Grant on the far side and moving up nicely, Megan Smith in lane 4. And it's Megan Smith now who's taking it on. She's our new leader as we come to the 100. 1:13.54 for her. Third in the West District Senior Age Groups long course. Went one better, a short course before that, silver medalist. And certainly turning into the backstroke, she's now quite a long way clear. There's a whole raft of swimmers contesting second. At the touch, it was Laura Harrison, the early leader. Don't think it is now, though. Over on the far side, Hayley Grant may have it. Also going well is lane 2, Heather Mulvaney. Megan Smith leads, and it is Heather Mulvaney now into second, just a third of a second back. So having a good backstroke leg, and I think it is Heather now. We're just moving past Megan. Heather Mulvaney, 5:31, her entry time. Still also Hayley Grant going well in lane 9, so well spread out across the pool here. Lane 2 up to lane 9, with lane 4 in the mix as well. Just Heather Mulvaney, though, at the halfway point, will lead them into the breaststroke. 2:36.70. Definitely worth checking out the live streaming. Later on, you can see some lovely close-ups of the swimmers. And it's Heather Mulvaney who has the advantage still. In lane 2. At the 2:50. She's turning reasonably good advantage still, 3:25.76 for her, 2 seconds up on Megan Smith, who continues to hold second from Hayley Grant. Half a second between Megan and Hayley. Moving up now, Laura Harrison trying to come back into the mix, and also in lane 5, Amy McCrosty. So it's beginning to tighten up now. Megan Smith coming back at Heather Mulvaney as well. So we've got 5 swimmers all in with a shout here. Anya Reid is doing her best to join them as well. So all to play for in the freestyle. Let's see who's going to lead them in. I think it might be Megan Smith. It is 4:15.84 for her. Leads by a second now from Heather Mulvaney. Good end to her breaststroke. So let's see whether she can hold it in the final 100. Certainly looks to be Megan still, although over on the far side, Hayley Grant is worth keeping an eye on here. She is just about there with Megan now. Final turn. Very close indeed, and in fact it is Hayley Grant who just turned in the lead by a couple of tenths, 4:53.55 for her. So it looks like we're going to be sorting it out between these two. And Hayley Grant from Dundee City Aquatics looks the most likely, second in the Midlands Championships. And I think she's going to take this one. No one can live with her freestyle pace, so good swim from Hayley. 5:32.86 is her entry time. She's going to improve on that. She comes in fine style, 5:28.38, 4.5 seconds inside her entry time. Megan Smith, 5:30.90 in second place. Heather Malvani third, 5:32.85 in a real back and forth first heat. So the result on the screen as we move on to Heat 2. On to Heat 2. Louisa Sinclair of Carlisle Aquatics in 1, Lizzie Cleland of Best in 2, Gemma Brown of First in 3, Megan Laurie of Warrender in 5, Ailsa Timoney of Warrender in 6, Ailsa Beck of South Aberdeenshire in 7, Claire Maloney of Carnegie in 8, Rachel Saxon of South Lanarkshire in 9, Charlie Cavens of Warrender in 10. Ailsa Beck, 33.03, leads by 4/10 at the 50. Fourth in North District age groups. Moving up in lane 3 is Gemma Brown. Not quite up with Ailsa just at the moment. Third place looks to be Claire Maloney ahead of Rachel Saxon. Very tight now between Ailsa and Gemma. Gemma, in fact, getting the touch, 1:11.64. Gemma Brown, fourth in West District senior age groups. A couple of seconds faster than the first heat. And a fair gap between the leading pair and third place. Rachel Saxon now just ahead of Claire Maloney, with Megan Laurie behind them. So at the turn, Ailsa Beck, 1:52.14, 2 seconds now her lead over Gemma Brown. So got that lead back and looking to really build it in the backstroke. Of course, different swimmers, different strengths in this IM. And it's about taking full advantage of your strengths while trying to minimize your weaknesses. Moving up into second place now, Rachel Saxon. So it's Beck and Saxon from Brown. With a 1-2-3 at the turn. 2:32.03 for Ailsa Beck. Now about 4.5 seconds faster than the first heat. See what Breaststroke brings. Rachel Saxon is looking good. In lane 9. Silver medalist in the West District senior age groups, and she's pretty much up with Ailsa now. Not going to be too much in it at the turn midway through the breaststroke. I think Rachel Saxon is probably going to lead them through the turn. She does. 3:20.21. In fact, she's a second up on Ailsa Beck. These two now quite a long way clear. Some 6 seconds near enough over third place. Ailsa Timoney now moved into third, just ahead of Gemma Brown, although really nothing between them, 300ths. So we talked about different strengths, and Rachel Saxon clearly exploiting her breaststroke strength here. Just goes past her coaching fraternity. And ever onwards, now about 3 meters up So the South Lanarkshire swimmer goes into the freestyle 4:06.59, now a massive 9 seconds faster than the previous heat. And has about 5 seconds near enough on Ailsa Beck now, so really took full advantage of that breaststroke leg. Third place now, Ailsa Timoney, just a metre or so back on Ailsa Beck, so good contest going on for second, then a fair gap to fourth place. Megan Laurie in 5 and Gemma Brown in 3. I'm not sure anyone's going to get close to Rachel Saxon now. Turns for home, 4:43.42. So around about a 37-second split there. Another of those. Bring her in about 5:20, entered 5:25. Close for second still. Beck and Timoney. Ailsa Beck still holding off Ailsa Timoney. But in the lead by quite a margin, Rachel Saxon, excellent swim, 5:18.67, faster than my prediction, and a 7-second improvement on her entry time. Ailsa Beck did hold off Ailsa Timoney for second place by 1300ths in the end, 5:22.74 against Ailsa's 5:22.87. So the 1, 2, 3 there, Rachel Saxon, Ailsa Beck and Ailsa Timoney as we move on to heat 3. So this is heat 3, Shona Lambert of Warrender in 1, Kirsty McGinley of Ren 96 in 2, Emily Horn of Perth City in 3, Sophia Green of Elgin in 4, Nikki Miller of South Lanarkshire in 5, Jessica Thompson, City of Aberdeen in 6, Emma Chittleborough of Warrender in 7, Sarah Donnelly of Carnegie in 8, Eve White of Dumfries in 9, Katie McKenzie of Highland in 10. Not a lot in it at the 50. Eve White, 32.17. Saw a good 200 fly swim from her earlier on today. So I guess no surprise she's going out well in the fly section of this IM. In lane 9 in the white cap. Swimmers behind her in a line. 7 of them all up there. Maybe just edging into second place Nikki Miller in lane 5, behind Eve White in 9. So Eve will have the touch, 1:09.35, 2 seconds faster than heat 2. Miller second and a bit behind Eve. Third place Jessica Thompson of City of Aberdeen. So both the previous 2 heats, we've seen the swimmers going back and forth a bit in the first half of the race in particular and into the breaststroke. And in both of them, I think we saw breaststroke pretty much deciding things. And it's tightening up here. Eve White still holds it, but her lead shrunk there down to half a second. Jessica Thompson now in second place. Eve White, Youth Development Squad member. Finalist in this event in National Short Course, so no mug in 400 IM. Notwithstanding a outside lane here. But it is Jess Thompson now who's just edged into the lead. Youth Development Squad member as well. North District Age Group silver medalist, bronze in these championships last year. So she has the advantage now, 2:29.64, 2.5 seconds faster than the previous heat. So not made up too much ground on the previous heat in the backstroke leg. looking strong in the breaststroke is Nikki Miller. So she could come back here. Also Katie McKenzie from Highland over in lane 10. And Sarah Donnelly coming up in lane 8 alongside Eve White. So a good set of swims over on the far side there behind Jessica Thompson, who still leads by a fair bit. Nikki Miller. Emma Chiselbury is the specialist breaststroker. There's got a lot of ground to make up, but just keep an eye on her in lane 7. And she should close that quite fast, you would think. But Jessica Thompson still leads 3:14.52 by 3 seconds from Nikki Miller. Katie McKenzie in 3rd. Emma Chiselbury is making a move, but I don't think she's going to get close to Thompson in this breaststroke. So Thompson still looking very much in pole position here. Still just Miller in 2nd, Chiselbury now up into 3rd place. So they're the 3 going into the freestyle. Thompson, 4:01.12. Now 5.5 seconds up on the previous heat, so made up good ground in the breaststroke. Can Jessica Thompson hold off Nikki Miller? Can Emma Chiselbury maintain that breaststroke charge into the freestyle? It's hotting up nicely here in the center lanes. Jessica Thompson and Nikki Miller. I think it's going to be between these two now. It's about a meter between them as they come towards the final turn. Nikki Miller is in position to make a last length challenge here if she chooses to. Nikki Miller in the 14-year-old age group, Jessica Thompson in the 15-16, so different age groups. But that doesn't stop them having a good race here. There's Jessica Thompson holding the advantage still, and I think she's seen the challenge off now. She's up by more than a body length now. Jess Thompson, 5:13.87 is her entry time. She'll be around about that, I think. In fact, she should be inside it. And comes in 5:11.25. So 2 seconds, in fact, inside it. 2.5 seconds. And 7 seconds or so faster than the previous heat. Nikki Miller just a second back on her, 5:12.45. So nice swim from her, also inside her entry time. And Emma Chiselbury held 3rd in the freestyle there to come in 5:17.91. And unfortunately we have a disqualification in that one, technical infringement in lane 10. So summarising the 1, 2, 3, Jessica Thompson 5:11.25, Nikki Miller 2nd 5:12.45, Emma Chiselbury 3rd 5:17.91. And on to heat 4. So in Heat 4, we have Sarah Branch of Northampton in 1, Lauren Sutherland of Midlothian in 2, Megan Feld of South Aberdeenshire in 3, Kirsty Simpson of Carnegie in 4, Orla Adams of Geary in 5, Jennifer King of North Ayrshire in 6, Charlotte Anderson of Hong Kong in 7, Samantha Caulfield of Carnegie in 8, Lauren Mackenzie of Elgin in 9, and Kimberly Mackay of Warrender in 10. Good start from Carnegie's Kirsty Simpson, 31.13. Charlotte Anderson, 31.36. We saw her with a good 200 butterfly swim earlier. Kirsty, mainly known as a backstroker, so watch out for her in the first half here because she's putting a good butterfly leg. I'm sure she'll put in a good backstroke one. Samantha Caulfield also going well, 3rd place. But it is Kirsty Simpson with the advantage. 1:06.89 for her. About half a second faster than the previous heat. 2.5 seconds rather. Kirsty, East District age group silver medalist in this event. Not one she swims that often. Good chance the national age groups for some of our top swimmers to swim events they wouldn't normally compete in. I think that's the case today with Kirsty. 1:45.34 for her, so still leads by a bit over a second over Charlotte Anderson. Jennifer King, another very fine backstroker, in third now in lane 6. Sarah Branch of Northampton is the youngster of the field, 14-year-old, but at the moment she's in the back group and the leaders in the front, because the final 2 heats now get cycle seeded in the 400 events. And Kirsty Simpson now just 7/10 up on Jennifer King in second, but quite a bit faster than the previous heat, about 6 seconds. Jennifer King and Charlotte Anderson side by side now, and Ola Adams will probably make a move in the breaststroke in lane 5. Got the fastest entry time, 4:51. The national short course bronze medalist and British University short course silver medalist. And she is up alongside Jennifer and Charlotte now in the contest for second, still behind Kirsty Simpson. I think she may challenge Kirsty in the second half. Challenging her right now, though, is Charlotte Anderson. In fact, she's moved into the lead now, 3:07.53. So obviously a very competent breaststroker as well. Just learning about these Hong Kong swimmers through the week, see what their strengths are. And certainly Charlotte's breaststroke looks very good indeed. And she is now more than a body length up. Adams and Simpson contesting second, ahead of Jennifer King. Charlotte Anderson then has the advantage, about a body length up on Ola Adams, who's now in second place. 3:50.90, plays 3:52.10. Now 11 seconds faster than the previous heat. And Ola Adams get in about Charlotte Anderson in this final 100. She's still a body length or so back, going down towards the final turn. So at the moment, it's very much looking like Charlotte's race. Check the splits. At the final turn, it was just over a second at the 300. It's now nearer 2 seconds, about 1.7. So Charlotte Anderson has very much the advantage here, and she'll not let it go at this stage. 15 meters to go. Check out on her time versus her entry time, entered on 5:04. I think she'll beat that. Looking very easy going into the wall, saving her engines for this evening, and she does go under 5 minutes, 4:59.74. So a good milestone for a 400 IMA, that 5-minute mark. Ola Adams second, 5:01.23. Jennifer King third, 5:03.67. So the 15-year-old taking that one, Charlotte Kiki Anderson, 4:59.74. So she'll be the fastest so far in the 15-16 age group. Ola Adams second. As we move on to heat 5. Final heat, Olivia Jackson, South Lanarkshire in 1, Ella Shilliday of Stirling in 2, Ailey Duffy of City of Aberdeen in 3, Rebecca Smith of Warrender in 4, Chanel Snedden of First in 6, Brigitte Maria Kwong of Hong Kong in 7, Chelsea Lawson of Carnegie in 8, Kirsty Armstrong of Best in 9, and Ali Bazarian of Hong Kong in 10. So 2 14-year-olds in the field here, and one of them, Kirsty Armstrong, leads at the 50. 31.77 for the youth squad member, reigning national age group champion. And she'll be looking to do that again. Because last year as a 13-year-old, it was a heat declared winner event. This year she has to swim it twice. Once this morning, once this evening. But certainly putting in a good butterfly leg here. It's given herself about a meter's advantage. Turns 1:08.18. Not as fast as the previous heat. Second place, Ailey Duffy. Third place, Chelsea Lawson. Watch out for Chelsea in this backstroke leg. The 200 backstroke national champion. So she's in lane 8 and starting to move up. Also going nicely is Rebecca Smith in lane 4. And Ailey Duffy in 3. Ailey Duffy, in fact, has the advantage here. Youth Development Squad member. Another finalist in the National Championships and the North District Grand Prix. And she now has the lead. 1:47.3 from Chelsea Lawson second, Brigitte Kwong in third. So, of course, no swimmer in lane 5. That would have been the fastest entry time, but a withdrawal there from Emily Jones. So, certainly opened up the race for the others. And it is Ailey Duffy who still has the advantage. Halfway point, 2:25.24. Still a couple of seconds back on the previous heat. All things could change, though, in the second half. Good contest developing. Lane 7 and 8, Brigitte Kwong, Chelsea Lawson. Keep an eye on Chanel Snedden in lane 6. She could well pick up in this breaststroke leg. Ailey Duffy holding it on at the moment, but we saw an excellent breaststroke in the previous heat from Charlotte Anderson, and her teammate here, Brigitte Kwong, is doing something very similar. 3:09.95. Brigitte, the 17-year-old, so going in the top age group, 17 and over. So a very fine breaststroke leg here from Brigitte. Chanel Snedden's a very strong breaststroke as well, and she's now challenging for second place. I think maybe just easing past Ailey Duffy. Kirsty Armstrong also in that group. The youngster, the 14-year-old. Brigitte Kwong has herself a useful lead, about 3 meters to take into the freestyle. She goes through that 3:54.43. Still slower than the previous heat, about 3.5 seconds. Can anyone challenge her in this final 100? Well, possibly. Chanel Snedden is looking good. Has the lead down to about a body length as they approach the 3:50 turn. You would think Brigitte will be able to hold on from that. 4:29.56. She's still 1.8 up, so it'd be very surprising if she gave that up down the final length. Won't stop Chanel from trying, I'm sure. Going in the 15-16 age group, Chanel. So she'll want to get a good lane in the final in that age group. She's still about a body length back on Brigitte, so that is closing though. But I don't think it'll be enough. Brigitte knows what she's doing here, and she will hold her position into the wall. 5:03.73, pretty much on her entry time. Chanel 5:04.27. Ailey Duffy in third, 5:07.85. So that was the final heat of the 400 IM. There is your summary of it. Brigitte Kwong first, Chanel Snedden second, Ailey Duffy third. 5:03.73, Brigitte's winning time.
So the end of the girls 400 metre IM there, and
we also have the
another heat victory for one of the visitors from Hong Kong, Kerry. Good swim.
Yeah, heat 4 and 5 are won by Hong Kong swimmers, so that's great. Charlotte in the heat 4 going on to the 5-minute mark as well, so it's pretty quick.
So the last remaining event in the morning session will be the boys 4x200 relay. And we don't have the heat list on the start sheet in front of us, but presumably only one heat in this, Kerry.
I would think so. I think most of the Scottish teams are doing this. But from what I can see, it looks like there's probably only one heat.
Well, Duncan will take us through the starting order. Let's just go back to that 400 IM there just quickly. Kerry, any other swims there that stood out for you?
I think Chanel Snedden, she's only 15 and she kept up with she kept up with Brigitte there in the last heat. Taking second place, so that was good to see the 15-year-old stepping up again. A lot of good 15-year-olds at the minute. Well, seems to be in this first session I've seen so far.
Well, that's what the Age Group Championships is all about. The 4x2 100 free is underway, and we'll bring Duncan McKinnell, venue commentator and our commentator for the day, back into action.
Could we have a coach from Dundee University, please, to the recorders table? Coach from Dundee University. So it's Hearts swimmer James Lauder leading off, and he's going well to give them the early advantage. 57.96. Second place, East Lothian, led off by Finlay Williamson, the yellow cap, lane 4, and pretty much beside them is first with Callum Laurie. And it's a good start from Hearts here. We have the fastest entry time in this first heat, 8:15.23. Lead by 2.5 seconds at the 150. So next under this length will be the first changeover, and certainly Hearts will be pretty pleased with James Lauder's efforts here, given them a great start. About 4 meters up now, in fact more than that, 5 or 6 from first now into second place as the first changeover, 157.26. In the pool now is Andrew Sawkins for Hearts. For first, it's James Stephen. For East Lothian, it's Struan Stewart. So there's still the 1, 2, 3 number of swimmers just behind them. Carnegie B team with Cameron Nelson in lane 3. Borders with Toby Douglas in 7. Still Hearts though, clear of all of them. Andrew Sawkins looking to maintain the advantage given to him by the lead-off swimmer James Lauder. Moving up into second now is Borders. Toby Douglas, Youth Development Squad member for them. Out of Berwickshire. Currently swims for Duns. Hearts then. Borders second, first third. East Lothian in 4th place. And that Hearts lead just gradually starting to be whittled away now. And it's Borders who are doing the whittling. So only about a metre in it now. 3:31.87, 3:32.28, 4/10. Andrew Sawkins will be wanting to try and hold that as we come up to the second changeover. It's very tight for third. First and East Lothian. So Stone Stewart's had a pretty good leg for East Lothian, holding up with first there, but it's still Hearts have the advantage. So good last length from Andrew Sawkins. He hands over to Jamie Waller. For Borders, it's Gregor Swinney. East Lothian, I think maybe just coming out of that dive into third place. Matthew Thompson on the third leg for them, and for first it's James Stephen. Seen him in the pool quite a bit. Your eye over on the far side as well. Geary and a good second leg from Finley Douglas. It's Peter Holmes now in for them. So trying to get in the mix for the minor places. It's still at the front. It's Hearts from Borders. Jamie Waller against Gregor Swinney. Still about the metres lead that Andrew Sawkins handed over is still in place. First are now moving up to try and join them. James Stephen for them, trying to bring them into contention. So Hearts best first, the 1, 2, 3. East Lothian doing their best to stay with them. Also moving up now, Carnegie. In lane 3, Aaron Gillen for them. I think he's maybe just edging past East Lothian. Good scrap now for second as well. First and Borders side by side. Behind Hearts, who are holding their position. So Jamie Waller, I think maybe slightly increased the lead he was given. It's just over a second, about 1.3. Of course, remember the second heat will go this evening. These swimmers need to post a time that will give them something to think about for the rest of the day. And this is getting tight now. First are moving through very nicely. James Stephen really powering down his final length before he hands over to Anchorman. In fact, actually, it's Mark Elric. My apologies, Mark Elric in that third leg. And Ellis Lawson on the anchor for first, now into the lead, ahead of Hearts. For Hearts, it's Cameron Finlayson on the anchor. For best, it's Finley Dewar. Carnegie have Cameron Nelson. And East Lothian have Charlie Smith. So they're the 5 teams up there. I think the Geary challenge has faded now. So it's first from Hearts. And there's only 3/4 of a second in it here. We're looking for a Dundee City Aquatics coach to the recorders table, please. Dundee City Aquatics to the recorders table. Well, there's everything to play for here because Hearts are coming steaming back here. And they're right up there with first. So Cameron Finlayson has really done a strong first 100 there. So with 100 to go, there is about 1/4 of a second between them. Surely it's between these two now. The third place teams, Carnegie and Best, are quite a long way back, about 10 metres. Hearts still just have the edge, but it is Finlayson against, from the anchor leg, Lawson for first. So about a metre in it then. And, well, you still would be a brave man to call this one. About a metre in it still. Can Hearts hold that gap down the final length? Cameron Finlayson maybe now starting to make sure of it. He's opened up to about a body length advantage and he's starting to pull away now. So Hearts have dominated for most of this race. A bit of a wobble in the third leg, but Cameron Finlayson gets the job done for them. He comes in 8:11.72, 3.5 seconds faster than their entry time. first also improve on their entry time, 8:14.39, and Carnegie likewise an improvement of nearly a second for them, 8:19.75. The 1, 2, 3 then in this first heat: Hearts first, First second, Carnegie third.
So that concludes the racing for this morning in the first session. You can see there the results of the heat in the 4x200. There will be a faster heat swum in this evening's session, session 3, at which the medals will be decided. Just your reflections on that race, Kerry?
Yeah, just Hearts looking strong in the first two legs there, and then first caught up with them there, but Hearts managed to hang on and get the win there. So their time of 8:11.72 might have a chance of sneaking a bronze or something in the final tonight. If they just need to wait and see what happens, I guess.
Just to take the guys just to start with, and we'll talk about the girls maybe during one of their races or after one of their races. But you know, in terms of the relative strengths of the different clubs, where are they all positioned at the moment, would you say?
I think the clubs at the minute, especially age group level, are pretty even. There's a lot of guys. In that relay there, it was pretty close between Hearts and First. Carnegie have obviously got Mark Sharanek, one of the older ones, but in the younger ones, I'd say they're all pretty even. So it's quite nice that, because then it's a better competition, which brings the best out in people, I think.
Well, thanks very much, Kerry, for your input this morning, and thanks also to Duncan McKinnell for his venue commentary and commentary on the stream. It's the first session of 15. We're here for 5 days at the Scottish Gas National Age Group Championships. So we hope you have enjoyed the coverage thus far, and please remember that you'll be able to contribute in your own way as well by getting in touch on Twitter, and the hashtag is snags14, the hashtag snags14. And if you contact us, we'll do our best to read out the best of your comments throughout the week. And if you're enjoying the coverage, please do let us know. Please do let Scottish Swimming know as well, at Scottish Swim, wherever you are in the world. It's always great to hear from you. In previous events, we've had viewers from all 7 continents around the world. So if you're watching us in some far-flung part of the world, please do get in touch. Let's have a look at what's coming out a little bit later on in session 2. Just remind ourselves, same events obviously, with a couple of exceptions. Boys 800 metre free starting us off, then the girls 200 metre fly, boys 200 metre breast, girls 100 metre free, boys 100 metre back, the girls 400 metre IM, and then finishing off with the boys 4x100 freestyle relay this time. And then later on this evening in the final session, it's a packed schedule, look at that. I'm not going to read all of those out. I'm not going to read all of those out, but of course in every age group we have the finals for each age group, so that potentially is 5 finals per event. So a packed schedule that we can look forward to later on. Kerry will be with me throughout the day. I hope you will be too. A reminder that our coverage begins at about 1:10, just about 5 minutes before the start of the afternoon session, and we hope you'll join us then. But for now, from Kerry and myself here at the Aberdeen Sports Village, it's a very good afternoon.